Hi, this is IK. Welcome to React Redux Delete. Repeat, delete. Here is a list of post list, and here is a delete button. There is no second, now delete. There is no first. Again, refresh. Add a new, save post, and here is delete. Every post there is a button delete, 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 delete. Let's coding. For every video and every my explanation, every teacher's thinking about how to explain. Every topic we can explain in many way, and for this topic, delete, I'm going to explain straight to goal, and it is what is it? You will see now. From what we start? We start from button delete. It is a start point in this future delete. Let's to find post list. Post list, it is where I see all posts, and I want that every post there is a button delete, and it is post list. Okay, let's go to see post list, and here it is. Button. Every button there is an attribute. Button is HTML. There is an attribute on click. It is event. JavaScript is event driving. Event drive JavaScript. Event call function. On click attribute event JavaScript event. Call. How call function? Call with the sign equal, and in curly brackets we have arrow function, parameter nothing, and that in body of arrow function we have post remove. Post remove is function, and attribute of post remove is post.id, and delete is here, and button closed tag. Now let's go to see function post remove. Where it is? Here it is. Function post remove is here. We declare object constant post remove equal function arrow function. In parameter of arrow function is id, and in body of arrow function we call dispatch. Parameter of dispatch is post delete, is function post delete, is action creator, and parameter of action creator post delete is id, but now curly brackets, it is known, it is real value of id. Here is id as a declaration. We can write x, but after that in body we have in curly brackets that ID. It is something what exists and what is declared before. Where is declared? Here is declared. And it will be value. Always parameter means that some value go in function body, and that value in function body, and here it is, that value in function body play some role. Here, that value play role parameter of post delete. It means that that value ID go in function post delete. And now we go to function post delete to see what that function does with that value ID what coming in. Post delete, it is in post slice. It is action creator in post slice. Post slice is here, and post delete is here. The post delete is like other action creator, like other function. Post delete, there is a parameter state and action. State and action. We declare a constant, we declare object ID equal action payload. It is interesting. ID is here principal role, because what means delete here? Delete means remove one member from array, and every member of array there is identification field, a unique identification field, and it is ID. And thanks to by aim of unique identification, we can remove members what we want. And here is a declaration of payload. This is only logical control. We declare existing post and equal state dot find. It is a state dot posts really, because we are in slice of posts. It is post state, and we don't need write state dot posts because we are in slice of post, and state here we think on post. Dot find, method find, parameter is arrow function post argument, and in body is conditions. Post ID equal this ID, and post ID equal ID. It is find, and if exists, it is logical, then return state dot filter. Look at now, filter, and parameter is arrow function post, parameter of arrow function post, and in body of post is conditions. Post.id not equal ID. It is all members what there are not there all members in array who don't have this ID, and it is a new array. It is filter always create new array. That new array is all members except one, and it is very important. It is a return. It means that dispatch dispatch which call post delete, which call in parameter through parameter take post delete. It is calling post delete. It is callback post delete. Result what dispatch have will be this, and return dispatch take as a result of post delete have back complete array posts, array post, state post without one member, and it is ante portas of reducer. It is a result. It is action of in the input of reducer. What is it? It is array of post without one post. And in reducer there is two input. One input, this one without one post. It is all post without one. And second is all state post, all post. It is state actually original state. And in reducer we have immutable way of mutate state. Reducer have one output. It is state. It will be new state. And the reducer create copy of actual old state, and that copy change that copy when you return. When you it is return here is something like add, and when you add same members with all field what one members still have will be changed. We add all members except one, and to that copy, and all members will be changed, they're all filled, and new state would be all members except one, and it is new state. Here is interesting return, very, very interesting return, because until now we have a push method, but here is there is no push method. Until now we have a plus or plus equal, but here there is nothing of that. But this return is very, very here, very, very important. This return. And others, what is here is interesting, that action.payload for some logic must be that array after filter all members except one. It is in our thinking with our experience till now. It is all members except one. It is payload, but no. Here it is action payload is ID. Also, some else. Even though action start action start by HTML element button on the visible HTML document button, even though Here there is no use state. There is no changing local immutable way, local variable. And why we don't need here use state, but until now we need use state. I must look in counter. Counter 1. Counter 1. Look at. In counter, we don't have a use state. And we have, when we look at when we need use state, when we have payload, when we have payload, there is exist always why counter 1 and counter. Look at in counter slice. Counter slice, increment, decrement. But you look at, we have only state. Because we know value, concretely value, +1, -1. We know concretely value, always know concretely value here, value 1. But in add comment form, you have, we need use state. Because I must look at for add comment form, I must look at post slice, and creation for add, and action add post added, and post added. Look at payload. Payload is all this. And we must say here what to do with payload. Push. We push that when we write new post, that post we push is method what add array 1 member more, and that post is 1 member more in array. State push action value. Look at other here. Reaction added. Reaction added, also push. Post update, it is edit. Here is all this explain what to do with the action payload. We declare action payload, and here we must say what to do with it. What to do is that title equal title, content equal content. Post delete. Here we have passed action payload, but we don't speak about that action. That action payload is ID. Because we must know ID, what we delete, but we don't delete as we know from others, maybe PHP or others language. No, we need ID for exclude. Exclude post ID, exclude member, and return all others members. With this explanation, what we do. And when we return all others members, it is like counter. We really know what to add, what to and it is not push, it is not push, it is return, it is complete change existing state. Change with this new state. And it means that we know value what coming. What is this? It is same array. It is state.posts plural. It is the same array without one member. And it is action. Action. It is apostrophe. It is action is ID. ID is here principal role, like in PHP and before. We must know ID, and we directly delete from database that row, that ID, that row. But here we use that ID not for directly action and delete, because we cannot it in a React. We must go immutable. We, by that ID, exclude concretely members, and all other members we take back in reducer. Back in reducer. It is I here explain what confused me, and I explain, when I explain myself like this, I'm not confused. Because of that, I can call my video React by not confused way. By not confused way. I start video when I work something I confused. I thinking about that, reading, finding, searching, and when I think that I something know, I explain you, and there is no confusion. If you have still some confused, you can write question in comment. If I don't know respond, maybe some other listener can respond. Okay, I want to repeat one thing more, because it is very, very important, but I didn't talk about that. It is a function, and how function would be calling. How function start. That function start must something call that function. That function must be always call. And when that function is calling, that function processing, go in process. And after that process of function, we have some result of that function. Some result can be that that function call other function, and other function call other function, and some of them return something. Every function there is a result. To whom go that result? That result go to calling function, calling in called function. Called function, result of called function go to calling function. And repeat again our all our function and order how they call one another. Start from a button, it is post list. Start with a button. Here is a post list, and the button is HTML element, and we see how post ID coming here from parents. Who is parents? Post list. and from post list, post ID go here as a parameter of this function. Post remove via that who start post remove. How? On click, by our own click on button. Okay, post remove. Post remove, when we click on button, because every post there is one button, and every button there is a post ID of that concretely post. Post remove, there is a post .id, and our click means we call function and give a value. That function have concretely value of concretely post ID of that post. For example, it is 1. Post ID is 1. Okay. Post remove. Look at that function post remove. Post remove. Here is a generic coding of post remove. Because of that, here is ID. It is a generic parameter. The post remove, there is a parameter, and we have that value passed by value. That parameter passed by value. It means that here ID is a variable parameter because it depends, value depends of post what we click. This moment we click on post ID equal 1, it means that that post remove will be calling, we call that from our click, and here would be concretely 1 and ID 1, and in body of that it is parameter of arrow function, and parameter is enter, value enter in body of arrow function. And we see here it is, and it is concretely value, because here is a variable, here is generic, but here is also generic writing, but ID now there is a value, here there is a concretely value, here is waiting for value, here is must be value because we are inside body, and here is because of that curly brackets, and it is 1, here it is 1. And that 1, that post remove, we see equal arrow function there is a parameter ID, and in body of arrow function we have a dispatch. It is callback function dispatch. Again, dispatch. That means that post remove call dispatch, but dispatch there is a callback function also, post delete, call post delete, and that kind of writing, callback function with callback, means that execution would be by order, and nothing from outside and from inside can produce some side effect. Nothing disturb this process, because call function, it is callback function, it is part of the function, and it cannot be disturbed, and because of that React is full of callback and full of function. Here in this for example, here when we call post on click and post remove, it is very complicated put from our, we are live, we are hardware. Our body is hardware, and that hardware contact software. Hardware, our fingers click and release, push and release button on the mouse, and that physical event go with this code go to software, and between that can be problems, but inside post remove there is no problem, because post remove inside callback dispatch callback post delete, it is order what nothing can disturb. And callback dispatch callback post delete, and dispatch post delete, and we see post delete now here is 1, post delete here is 1, and post delete use that one ID, that one, for remove members of posts, of state post, of array posts. Remove one member would have that ID, and post delete return all others members, all members what don't have that ID. Return, result of this post delete is return. And where go that return go? Calling function, dispatch, and that dispatch knock on the door of reducer and give all members except one to reducer, to input. And the second input is all members, is all state, and that old original state, and the new state, action, true action. New state is complete members without one. By immutable way, produce a new state. State what will not have one, that concretely one members. I hope that that you have a lot of here to explain yourself. If I'm glad if your explanation is like mine, because this moment I satisfy with my explanation and I have not confusion here, any confusion here. But in the same time, when I look back in all my video, in this video, even though it's the shortest video maybe in series, I concretize a lot of new details like how function calling function, called function, and return, and payload is ID, and not after filter, not and it is here is a very, very interesting thing in the simplest operation delete. The simplest operation always in every crude combination in other language, I think exclusive to PHP language, is the simplest delete is the simplest method, because there is must know only, we must know ID and we delete that ID. In PHP we directly delete, but here we need immutable way. And step by step, video by video, experience by experience, exercise by exercise, we are more and more friendly with immutable kind. Why we need here immutable kind? But I can also ask why we need that every data we mutate separately of other, separately from page. And what is page? Page is a lot of component. Every component can have data, and data, every change in data will be changed in screen, will be changed only that data, not environment of that data. And it is very, very complicated job behind the visible part, behind button delete. And a lot of components create one page, and when we, after our action, there is changes only in one component, one data, and will be mutate only that component, only that data. And because of that we have fluid, we have a fast response, fast loading than before, when all page must reload that we see new state. But here nothing reload, but refresh, but unload, new loading is only data, concretely data. And if this data is on some server and can be mess on the traffic, we can wait for that data. And about that I will speak in some other video about that delay of data. But it is one data, but in before, when we must wait for all page, and that all page must be processed on the server again. After every hour click, it is a big difference in loading, in and it is winning characteristic of all this JavaScript library and framework, that fast change, that fast loading only data loading, not other part of component and page. And that combination, a lot of components, in one page, and a lot of that data what coming when after our action, and all other is a state still on the screen. All that in practice is a show that immutable way mutate is for now only way that we have not side effect. Side effect is all wrong what can happen in processing. Bugs, that bug we cannot find where it is, etc. But working like this immutable way is excellent. We have not side effect, and we work like that. Then after some practice, after some repeating on that immutable way, we will be friendly, and will not be confusion. Because of that we have a React, we have a reducer, and all must go by dispatch. Go to reducer, and original state go to reducer, and output is new state by immutable way. Mutate state by immutable way. If you know somebody that needs a video like this, say about this video in your social network, because all we together have better experience of video if there is more people who need it, who comment it, who like it, and it is closed circle, growing. It is community. Every video is community. If nobody like, nobody retweet, nobody spoke about that, that video don't exist, and there is nothing about. There is that video, value of that video is 0, and there is but only who see that video was author, and if nobody engage author, there is no feedback, and author cannot long times create video only for yourself. And because of that, if you like it, subscribe, comment. One word is engage. Your engagement, by your engagement, this video, value of this video grow. Thank you for watching this video.